Okay, so to get my bearings, I'm just gonna do the top of Mallow's head. I think I was showing some of y'all this the other day. So I'm wetting the tips of his ears. And there's that little pocket thing. Okay. And this had a little bit of, oh, I had mixed up a little bit of color. That's why. Okay. And it's just going to be a little bit of a glaze. Because I want it to, you know, look like fur. And then I did put masking fluid on, so if you have masking fluid, go ahead and use it. For the whiskers, if you don't, then you can just use your white paint at the end. But try to pay attention to where your whites would be anyway, because there, that's a little bit. Okay. Then I'm gonna keep putting in this dark. I think if I were doing the whole cat, I would have put in my background, but we're just doing the head. I think that's plenty. And I'm just, this is pretty juicy paint, but I'm using really light strokes. And Mallow is a little cross-eyed. Okay. So I'm just really trying to pay attention, use real pay attention to how the fur goes. And that's the direction that you really want to paint. And make sure you have some little bit of spiky. So it looks like you're you know, you have some fur there. And look how light that painted, that faded into. So we're going to come back. And this is pretty wet paint. That's why it's looking like that. That's why it's drying that light. And I'm going to come outside of where I drew his eye. Trying to pay attention to the shape of his face. And I'm leaving little white streaks. Put in some little bit more brown. And this comes out pretty far. This little bit of white. Okay. So I'm going to warm up his fur a little bit. In here, especially. Just wiggle your brush a lot when you're doing these strokes and make them really, really light. Okay. Okay. And I'll come back in here and keep darkening that up, but I wanted to put a little brown in up here. Okay. Got a little bit of ear tufts. Fur. Okay. Okay, I'm going to do this ear and then come in here. Then I'm going to let everything dry really well and come back and do, I can do his nose, but I'm going to do his eyes after everything's dried really well. Okay. This eye. There's a lot of black right there. There we go. This is quite black right here. Get that there. And now I'm just really wetting this down. You can pull your strokes. And I'm going to do that here too. Really wet it down. I have to go back over there. Okay. Okay. for the nose, so this was raw umber. And the nose, I want to make sure I get that. Got a little pink nose. So I'm going to use a alizarin crimson. I think you'll have a rose. Let's see if we can get this pretty close. And you can also, and for facial tones, you can use alizarin crimson and any of your primaries, really. Use your yellow or your blue or raw sienna. So, and then I'm going to put a little pink down here for his, because it's got a little bit of, and I'll probably put a little purple or blue down there for the shadow. He has very blue eyes. So I'm going to let there you go. A little blue. That's looking gray. I think I'll try the purple. Let me see how that works. I think that'll work better. Blue. You know, it's okay to smudge with your finger a little bit. I want this just a little bit darker right here. There. We'll see how that dries. Okay, and we have a little bit pink. Okay. Now, So you want to leave a little bit of white, or just really light, so that you see the light of the paper, the white of the paper in there. So you're going to pay attention to that. And he's got this little hood thing. I think it's like the highlight that you can see that comes over his pupil. So I'm going to keep that there, and I'm going to get some, I'm going to start, this is indigo. And right here is quite dark. So you can put a little blue, mix some blue in with some of your black, or your, I'm going to let that dry more. This is ultramarine blue, cobalt blue. I don't know. It's M gram, so you don't have it, but try your cobalt. Okay, so I just put a little dot in there. Now this is just water. And you're going to paint. And this, pay attention to where the light is. There's quite a lot of light showing on this one. Okay, I'm going to let that dry, and then we'll finish it, okay? And I'm going to take the masking off too.